Hey, everybody, welcome to my Facebook Live. Going from stuck to getting ready to be ready. I'm so excited to be here today. I know I've got some people that are going to join me live. I know that I kind of sprung this as a thing I was doing at the last minute, so you might be watching this on replay. Either way is totally great. I've got this little mini course is an opportunity to really learn more about your own process with moving from feeling stuck about something that you want. Hi, Stace. Moving stuck on something you want to getting ready to be ready for what you're wanting. And that's a powerful and empowering time. So I'm going to walk you through a mini process yourself. So you're going to want to grab your journal. If you feel like it, you can participate in the comments. Either way is great with me. My intention is to serve you today. Going to be maybe 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a nice chunk of time to be with yourself and to be with that heartfelt desire of yours. So let's go ahead first. I just like us to arrive together. So that might mean you want to stretch, letting go of whatever you were doing prior. Hi, Valerie Teller. Whatever you're doing prior, letting go of anything that's happening afterwards, and just allowing yourself to be here with yourself in service. Hi, Amy. In service to what you're up to in life. I created this program. I'm doing a 4-month program starting on February 26th, and I created it from a space of like, what do I wish I had had when I was, hi, Maura. What do I wish that I had had when I was going through some major, or when I was starting to think about, and I guess it was actually more than think about. It was like when I was starting to feel pulled, called, just had this inner prompting to change something in my life. Big things that I've used this process for as I was getting ready to be ready, moving from stuck to getting ready to be ready to end my marriage. When I was leaving my my 10-year job at the School of Women's Arts, when I was deciding to move out of Manhattan. Maura, it's so good that you're here. So, I have a lot of respect for both that inner calling, and I've learned a lot through the work with myself and with other clients about it's a very sacred process when we hear an inner prompting to make a change in our world, to create something new, whether, even starting and writing a class. Sometimes there's a spot where I have the idea. It's like, I know I want something, but I'm not quite ready to make that change. And same with clients that like, not quite ready to make that change. And a lot of times people get so hard on themselves. I used to judge the crap out of myself for how long it took me to get in alignment with the guidance that I heard. And I've found that there are some things that can be done to move out of that stuck place and move into, which is a passive and reactionary time. Stuck is a passive and reactionary time versus getting ready to be ready. Like, wow, what is the inner and outer preparation I need to do to be ready to have that experience, to make that, to step into action with that item. So yeah, Maura, I know, getting ready to be ready. That's way better than not ready. Because not ready feels so final, feels so definitive. So we're going to start with my invitation to each of you is to start with, first and foremost, what is it in your world that you're being prompted to? There's an opportunity to get ready, to be ready to do something. I'm going to give a few examples of people who are already enrolled in my program. There's someone who's getting ready to be ready to fully step into their coaching practice and complete their day job. I have someone that's getting ready to be ready to end a relationship. I have someone that's getting ready to be ready to, what was the other thing they were getting ready? Like start a health journey. Like there's all sorts of things that are happening. I've had conversations with people who are thinking about launching a solo career, people that want to write a book. What is it for you? What are you getting ready to be ready to do? And you can either write that in your journal or post it in the comments if you are feeling brave. And it's okay either way, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to give you a moment to write that down. I know one of the things I'm getting ready to be ready to do that I'm going to write down is dating. And I know my sister Amy's on this call and she's probably like, just start dating already. But there's some things I need to work on to get ready to be ready to date. So go ahead and write that down. And then the other thing I'm going to invite you to do is I want you to write down, how are you relating to that idea? Like when I think of, for example, when I think of, oh, Stacy, I'm getting ready to be ready to combine my love of coaching with my love of travel. Yes, I love that. Katie, getting ready to be ready to leave your job and find one you love and discover what it is actually what you want to be, what it is I actually want to be doing. Yes, that is a great thing to be getting ready to be ready. And I've walked that myself, so I feel you. Thank you both for sharing those. And so now I want you to take a moment to look at, how are you relating to that? So for example, when I was thinking of leaving my job at the School of Women's Arts, I was like, what are you create? Oh, Amy, getting ready to be ready to start a school with my sister. That's me. We're starting a school. Little reveal here on the live stream. Yeah, this piece of like, when I thought about leaving my job, I was having thoughts like, are you crazy? You are a single mom living in Manhattan in charge of all of your bills and you're going to leave your full-time job. That's crazy. Or like, how would I even do, like, this has like been my dream job for so long. Why would I leave my job? I was relating to it from a place of like, what is wrong with you? So I want you to write down, how are you currently relating? Like Stacy, how are you currently relating to that desire for coaching and love and travel? Are you relating to it from a place of fear? Oh, Katie, yes, that's such a big one. Feeling guilty you're not doing it already. Like, what's wrong with me? Amen and hallelujah. It's the resounding chorus of those of us that have a heartfelt dream. It's like, that's where we begin, is we're often like, we believe it's, so anyway, before I get into that, take a moment. How are you relating to that? Write that down. This is an important piece because like you said, Katie, there's so many of us think if I know something, I should be able to just act on it. And that is the whole point, the whole thing of this stage. There are times in our lives where we can have a desire to do something and we can just move into it. And if we can't, if we haven't yet been able to, the first thing we want to do is shit all over ourselves and tell ourselves that we're bad and what's wrong with us and whatnot. But the truth is this is where the sacred work is, and why relating to it is I'm getting ready to be ready, because there is good reason that you haven't moved forward yet. And we're going to talk about that a little more in detail. So what I want you to do is ask that same, well, we don't want you to ask what's wrong with me, but I want you to now look at your desire, and I want you to give it a moment of like how great it would be to follow that desire. Because sometimes when we think of, if all we're thinking about is what's wrong with me, why can't I do it already, what is my problem, maybe I'm not brave enough, do you think that moves you forward and makes you want to be ready? Or, and make you, is it making you act on anything? No. And so if we can shift it into like, when I was moving out of my job and into my coaching career or my coaching practice, I started thinking about like, instead of what are you crazy and what's wrong with you that you would leave a job that's steady income, I started to think, my gosh, it'd be so great. It's going to really allow me to make my own hours. Oh, it's going to allow me to, I get to create my days. That sounds exciting. Oh, geez, like I get to teach about what I want to teach versus, like sharing about other people's processes. So, oh, Stacy, I love that. I'm relating to it from a very strong pull and a longing. It feels so right. And with fear, skepticism about whether it's actually possible, whether other people want it too. Right. So, Yeah, so we might be coming at it from a place of fear. You're now looking at like, yeah, there's longing in there. It feels right. I really want it. And then the very next thing that starts to come up are the fears and the doubts. So that's okay. We're going to get to that next. But this first step is like, how do you really start to amplify the how wonderful this is going to be? Or like, even I might not know how to make it happen, but I'm committed to figuring it out. I'm committed to showing up with resilience. Um, Relating to it from that way, again, we just want to start to pull apart where is, if I'm thinking about it from a place of like all the things that could go wrong or what's wrong with me or why I can't have it, we are in stuck. If we start to move into when we're getting ready to be ready and actively in intentionally and consciously entering into the process, the invitation is to give airtime to how great it's going to be. So I want, for those willing, like Katie, like write in the comments, like, how great would it be to be in a job that you love? Like, what would be great about that? Why are you excited about, or why, even if not all of you is excited, if you were to imagine like approaching it from a more empowered place, what might you be saying to yourself? What words of encouragement might you be giving yourself? So everyone take a moment to write that down for yourself, and or you can put it in the chat if you want to share what's coming forward. I really appreciate loving that people are sharing. This is so awesome. It would be great to enjoy waking up. You know, Katie, I really want that for you. Enjoying waking up and looking forward to what you're doing. Yes, that's a beautiful thing to be thinking of. Yeah. So like, gosh, be great to wake up and be looking forward to what I'm doing. Yeah. Really good. So that's right. So you're recognizing that, you know, and I encourage you to keep adding to that. And we're going to be doing a lot more of that in the 4-month program. But I wanted to give you a taste of the difference between when you're stuck, how you think, and when you're getting ready to be ready, the opportunity and the ways of being that support that process of moving forward. So if everyone's ready, I'm going to move on to the next thing. So now let's take that thing that you've been wanting to experience, that pull that's moving you forward, and I want you to go ahead and give, hi Mercedes, I'm so glad you're here. I want you to go ahead and give voice to like 5 fears, doubts, concerns, worries that you have regarding this inner pull that you're having. So for example, in my dating scenario. So fears and doubts that immediately come up is like, I'm just going to be, there's no good men out there. I'm going to like, it's hard to find a good guy. The dating apps feel so shallow and I've done so much work on myself. Like, how am I ever going to find someone that's a match? Or, what other fears, doubts, and concerns? I actually run a lot of fear around safety and dating, like just things that you hear in the news, like that comes up for me. So those are all things that I worry about when I'm moving towards my heartfelt desire. Anyone want to share in the comments some of your fears and concerns? It's okay. You can also just be writing them in your journal. The other thing I want to say about this is, anytime, from what I learned in spiritual psychology, is like anytime we are moving in a new direction or going after something that's heartfelt and meaningful that we're being called to do, it is designed that any limiting beliefs, fears, worries, concerns have to come up and out into the light, into your consciousness, so you can see them, so that you're not limited by them. Okay, so it's normal and natural for those things to come up. When we're stuck, we stay in those fears. We ruminate, we circle around them, we keep talking to people about our fears, hoping that we'll get some sort of, we'll get somehow that will eventually alleviate our fears, and then we'll be able to move forward. But if you're stuck, it's when you're just kind of talking about it, and not moving through them. So fears and doubts are natural. So Amy sharing, as in relation to starting the school that we're starting together. I'm not going to be clear on how to communicate the skills we're going to teach. My sister will get sick of me. You're adorable. I won't be able to enroll enough people into the school. Yeah, those are all legit, totally makes sense that you'd be having those fears coming up. Of course, really good to see. So when we're stuck, again, we just keep circling and staying in those fears. When you're getting ready to be ready, it's like a big part of our growth, and from, again, I'm a soul-centered professional coach, so I'm always looking at it from the level of like, what is this teaching me and what's the opportunity available. A big skill in anyone's growth and evolution, and for anyone that's wanting to live more aligned life, learning how to work with these fears and doubts and the parts of us that come up that are scared is the key to being able to be just unleashed in the world. And I don't mean that from like I love Tony Robbins and his work. I think it's really powerful, but I don't mean like type A, go out there, you're unstoppable, but rather like this more like loving, compassionate, like, I want to follow my inner guidance here. I want to follow what I'm being guided to do. And I want to have this skill set to really be loving and encouraging with myself and not let those limitations stop me. And so, in Getting Ready to Be Ready, the 4-month course, we're going to spend a lot of time working with that and teaching individuals, again, how do I work with that part of me that's scared? How do I let go of these old beliefs that I took on when I was so much younger that kept me safe at one point, but are now getting in the way? It's like that's part of the sacred opportunity of getting ready to be ready. It's like you really get to go, well, I get to care for myself, encourage myself, support myself during this time so I can keep moving forward in spite of the fears or the limitations or the doubts. Stacy, thanks for sharing. Fears and concerns. People won't want to pay for this. I won't be good at it in person, one-on-one, or group retreats. The experience I want to offer isn't realistic or possible. So brave. Thank you so much for sharing. And of course, from that place, you'd be feeling like, I don't want to move forward because I don't want to feel those things. I don't want to find out that they're true. And so when you're stuck, you stay in that spot. So I want you to take a moment to, I'm going to address Amy and Stacy just because they gave me examples in the chat. So for Amy, it's like, so let's check out, like, so that part of you that's feeling like all those things and has those thoughts and fears. The first and foremost thing to do is to really see that as a part of you. Like there's a part of you that's really your authentic self that's hearing the guidance, that wants to move forward, that's excited and engaged in the creation of the school. Like she's like aligned. And then you have this part of you that's like, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't happen? And what if that doesn't happen? And I want you to like envision her like it's a younger part of you. So it's almost like you want to imagine that younger you sitting across from you and really just saying to her, first and foremost, I mean, so many of us, like as parent, when we were parented, and maybe we even do this with our own kids, we want to reassure right away. Like, it's okay. You'll be fine. You're going to do great. You guys will be awesome. But it doesn't ever get at the part that's actually like worried, right? We first need that part to feel heard. Stacy, same for you, and anyone else who's still on the call, Katie and Melinda and Mercedes. It's like, as you're looking at that part that has fears, we first want to meet her with like, yeah, of course, if you're feeling all those things and you're thinking all those things, you're going to feel concerned and worried and nervous about moving forward. And I get it. That makes so much sense that you'd be feeling that way. And, I'm going to support us as we walk through this. Like, we're not alone. We're going to have, we have friends and family that care about us, but I want you to know I hear you. It makes sense. And we're going to, again, I'm going to do what I can to support us while we're moving towards our goal, while we're doing that. So we're going to spend a lot more time in the class, in the program, really getting that skill down. It's a really important, to me, it's been one of the game changers in terms of having a life where I feel more empowered, more at cause in my life, more creative, more liberated, and whatnot. So we're going to work with that skill of that. And we're also going to be working with, how do you actually release limiting beliefs? What is, what are some of the processes and tools that we use to let things go? And so I want you to take a moment, each of you that's on the call and really bringing things forward. It's like, take a moment to really picture that younger part of you across from you. I even invite people to listen. The more you can see that it's just a part of you and it's not who you authentically are, that distinction, seeing them across from you, talking to them as if they're your friend or your, a little kid sitting in front of you, or a teenager or a young woman or man. It's like just really like seeing that part of you in as much detail, or feeling them in as much detail. And then, just again, I hear you, goes a long way. I hear you. I get why you'd feel that way given those thoughts, and I'm going to support you. I'm here for you. Okay. So anybody have any questions about that so far? If not, go ahead and do a little talking to that part of you. You can write it out. You can talk out loud to that part of you. Just going to give you a moment or two to just even sometimes putting your hand on your heart can be helpful. But let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Okay. So I acknowledge you. That's how to move from stuck to getting, from I feel stuck, just staying in the fears and doubts, to getting ready to be ready is consciously working with those parts of you and with the thoughts and fears that come up. Okay. The last part I'm going to bring forward for today is the part of us that's another thing that can keep us in stuck versus getting ready to be ready is a lack of information, data, or support that around what you're going towards. For example, when I left or I'm going to use Amy or Stacy as an example. So when you think of your retreats, Stacy, it's like, and doing these, traveling and doing these retreats or one-on-one, coaching in beautiful places, it's like, what data, information, or support would help you, or do you feel like is missing, that's stopping you from taking action? Amy, same thing. All of you, same thing. Like Katie, what is keeping you stopped? Like, what information, data, or support do you need to move forward that you don't currently have? For example, when I was leaving my job and moving into coaching, I was like, I need a website. I don't know how to do a website. I don't even know where to begin on a website. Do I do a free website? Like, the whole thing felt so overwhelming. And so that was part of the data I needed. I was like, do I need to be an LLC or do I need to be an S Corp? Do I need a bookkeeper? Do I need an accountant? Do I know how much I want to charge? There was so much information and data. What's my messaging? Like, I had so many things between me and leaving and starting my own thing that I was paralyzed, like totally paralyzed. Like, I can't leave. I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know where money's going to come from. I don't know. So the information, data, and support is a really beautiful way to start the process of just identifying, first and foremost, what's missing that I don't have right now. So I want you to write down for yourself, is there any data, support, or information that I really need, that I would need to feel more at ease moving forward? I'm going to give you a moment to think of that. And you can write it in the chat. You can write it in your notes. Just going to give you another moment. So in my current journey with wanting to date, I had a conversation the other day with a friend, with a former USM classmate of mine who actually does work with singles to start dating and start to getting clear on what, like getting in alignment with dating and becoming part of a couple and like all of that stuff. And I realized that is a level of support that I would need in order to move forward. I've got so much mental stuff and lack of clarity going on inside of me that it stops me from more, it stops me from moving forward towards what I actually want. It keeps me stuck. The more I just think about the support that I need versus taking action on it, it stops me. So Amy's saying, I need to create more writing time and putting the time on my calendar. Love that. Yes. So it sounds like the missing piece for you is like part of the information, data, or support. It sounds like for part of it for you is like creating time. Is there anything from like an information or data standpoint that you need, Amy, on that? Stacy, I need to talk with favorite clients that I'd love to invite into something like this, engage their interest, ask about what kind of retreat experience they would love. Got it. So data from people, like really hearing what they need, what they want, what they like, how that can match what you're doing. Sounds like that would satiate a part of you that's currently in fear of like moving forward. Beautiful, Stacy. Nice work. Wonderful. So these are all really great examples. And again, you might put down, you can even put down things like, I'd need to start working with a therapist in order to move forward. I had a client that was getting ready to be ready to leave her career and retire. And for her, she needed data. Like she wanted to talk to her financial advisor and find out like what's actually possible. How much could she spend every year? How much, could she, how long could she not work for if she were to leave right away? If she were to wait for the stocks to go up, then how long would she need to wait for? So gathering that data created more peace inside of her to take the next step. Maura, I need to schedule sounding board feedback sessions to test whether I'm articulating this experience I offer, and I need admin support. Beautiful, beautiful awarenesses. So thank you for sharing, Maura, and everyone. So the other thing then I would encourage you to do to go from being stuck, because a lot of times we'll start to write down all the information that we need, and then that could overwhelm us, right? So you're going to want to, in order to move into getting ready to be ready, what you could do is to start breaking those things down into even smaller steps. So Stacy, I need to talk with favorite clients that I'd love to invite into something like this, engage their interest. Part of it could be create a list of 4 people I'd love to talk to, or it could be I'm going to call instead of, I need to talk to clients. It's like, how many clients do I want to call? I'm going to put that down as my to do. How many or which clients do I want to call? Putting all their numbers on a spreadsheet, like so that you can check things off as you go along. Could be, I need to write a list of questions that I'd like to ask them. So breaking it down into smaller bits can help move you out of overwhelm. One other thing so maybe take a moment to break down, like, and for Amy, it's like, if you need to create more writing time and put it on the calendar, it's like, okay, I'm going to put writing time on the calendar for the next 2 weeks to see how it goes. And I'm going to do it for an hour each time, or I'm going to do 30 minutes. And I'm going to have a specific journal that I use, or I'm going to do it on my computer, but it's actually, I'm going to put it on the calendar, right? So I love that and more same with yours, like, oh, I need to schedule sounding board feedback sessions to test whether I'm articulating the experience I offer. Great. So who would you be doing those with? Do you have certain people already in mind? If so, it might be, I'm going to reach out to X by Monday and see if she's available for me to do that. Here are the things that I would want to do during that feedback session. Here's the things I want, how I want them to respond. You can just keep breaking it down into little bits to get it out of the big chunk overwhelming thing. So that's how you go from stuck to getting ready to be ready, is breaking it down. The other part of getting ready to be ready, and I love that Stacy's on this call, because part of it is when she and I are both, Stacy, I hope you don't mind me, but we're both coaches. We both used to work together at the School of Women in the Arts, and we found we really missed, like, we missed the team environment where we had energy together and where we could accomplish, we were moving together to accomplish things. And so we started co-working together. I think we did it for over a year, where we would meet a couple times a week and just get on Zoom together and get the things done that we were having trouble getting done on our own. So one of the things I've built into Getting Ready to Be Ready is co-working time. We're going to do an hour every month where you can bring those things that you've been resisting doing, or that have been harder for you to do on your own. And at the beginning of the call, you'll get to share your intentions about what you want to complete. You'll get time to complete them during the call. Everyone will be co-working silently together. And then we'll spend time at the end celebrating what we accomplished and moving things forward. And so I've built that right into the program, because I just know the value of, like, when we're trying to do things on our own, part of the value of getting ready to be ready is having a group of people that, are supporting you on that journey, and having the group energy to move things forward, and a set time and space can be really valuable. So that will be part of the thing. So I love it. Amy's saying, love it. Yes. Share anything. Love it. Amy, yes, I will schedule our writing time for 30 minutes, 2 times a week for the next month. Love that. Stacey, love that co-working time is part of your offer. Oh yeah, right. It's so much more enjoyable, especially for those of us that do everything by ourselves. It's so much better to do with other people. So wonderful. So again, if you want to just take a moment to write down how you're going to take some of those information data things. You've all kind of been giving me things over in the chat, but just make sure you're giving yourself a moment to go, what's one way I could break down one of these information data and support things into a doable task? If you want to put it in the chat when you're going to do it, totally happy to have you use the chat, or the comment section as a place where you get to feel the accountability and being witnessed. All right, so we've covered a lot in the last 30 minutes. I'm so grateful for the participation. I'm going to encourage you to just take a moment to check inside. Can you feel the shift from what it feels like to be stuck to being engaged in a process of getting ready to be ready? And tell me what has been valuable so far. If you wouldn't mind putting in the chat, the comments. I keep forgetting we're not on Zoom. In the comments, what are you getting? What'd you get out of today? What felt like it moved the needle a little bit? What kind of created a little bit of a shift or some relief inside? Again, we've done this in 30 minutes, but I have created the Getting Ready to Be Ready program, 4-month program, to support people in moving out of feeling stuck when there's such a heartfelt prompting to do something, leaving a dissatisfying job, starting a project that they've been wanting to move on, but not being able to do that. The container of it is set up so there'll be a class, one 90-minute class every month over 4 months, one 90-minute group coaching session. And I've limited the class to 12 people in service to there being a lot of individual support, as much individual support as I can give throughout the group. And then there's the 1 hour, so that's a 90-minute group coaching session every month. And then a 1 hour co-working space every month as well. I know for me, we're about we're almost half full for the class. And so I'd love it if you or anyone now that you've had a little of experience, if you know people that are really struggling with like moving forward on something they really want, could be a great experience for them. I'm happy to have a conversation with them. You can pass this video along, which would be great. I'm seeing Amy say, oh, you're taking away that being with the part of you that needs more comfort, encouragement. Love that. Yes, Amy. Maura, breaking down into doable steps to relieve overwhelm. Great. Stacy, carving out space for my fears has been really helpful. I think I've been a bit scared to look under there. Yes. It is. It could be like a monster under the bed. And it's like, yeah, feeling the big energy of fear rather than just peeking under the bed to see what's there. Yeah. It's like giving that time and space and really learning how to be with it. And just like you would a little kid that needs love and encouragement, just like being there for that part of you. Brainstorming the information, keeping you soft, felt relief at how some of those questions were. Oh, hi, Tyler. I love that. Yeah, like it's like all of this is so natural when we're moving forward and so important to learn how to be with ourselves. And just imagine whatever people are bringing to this container, it's a skill set that you can then use anytime, because as long as we're alive, we're going to keep growing, evolving, and wanting new experiences and new things. So learning how to be with yourself, learning how to support yourself, learning how to look at things so you don't stay in stuck energy, but are able to then look into, are able to step into, yeah, just getting ready to be ready, being willing to engage actively in the process. So, yeah, really powerful. And again, we're going to be starting on February 26th. If you want details, I'll put a link in the comments. Put the link now for the program itself. It's my website. Do that right now. I should have this as a copy paste. The cost of the program, again, it's going to be 12 individuals. The cost of the program is $1,500, and all the details are over on my website. And yeah, I'm so excited that I was able to be with you all today. I'm so glad to hear that it was helpful, that you feel like you moved the needle a little bit just by engaging in today's process. And so if you have any questions, even if you have a question about your own experience here today and something didn't make sense, feel free. I think everybody that's been on this call has access to me via email and or my phone number. I'm going to put my email. I'm not going to put my email there because it's on public. But you can send me a Facebook message, and I'm happy to set up a time to talk to you if you want to have questions. So anyway, thank you, everybody. I acknowledge you for moving forward. I'm going to end with a little blessing for whatever you're working on today. So I just invite you to move out of your thinking mind for just a moment. Go ahead and close your eyelids. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And start with, I just acknowledge you and just acknowledging yourself for showing up here today in service to that calling, to that thing that's pulling you forward out into the world. Taking a moment to let go of any judgments or critical thinking you've had against yourself for not being ready, not moving on the thing that feels important to you. And just stepping into a space of really honoring the process, that what's happening here is super sacred. There's things here for you to learn. If you haven't moved forward, there's really good reasons for that. Really an opportunity. Slow down, get on your own side, get curious with yourself. It's both a part of creating something new in your life and also an opportunity to really cultivate some new ways of being, new ways of supporting yourself while you grow and evolve. Ways that are more loving, more encouraging, more kind. Moving out of, I should know how to do this, to I'm learning how to be with this process in a way that is way more self-supportive. And what I'm moving towards is important, and it's worth doing the inner and the outer preparation versus forcing and pushing and making myself wrong for not doing it faster, not moving quicker, not being more of whatever that I think I should be. And so I just send a lot of loving towards whatever it is that you're bringing forward into the world, knowing that Your timing is perfect. You are highly supported, and you have everything you need. And so we just ask for grace, and so it is. All right. Thank you again for showing up today. And I hope that if this class is in alignment for you, that you'll be joining us, or that you share this with others in your life that could benefit. Lots of love. Take care.